Okay, so you are looking at the wall where my LG 55LV4400 used to hang, and I came in one day and turned the TV on via the remote, and the red light was on but the TV would not come on. So I went to the side and I tried pressing the button, the on and off button on the side of the TV, and also it did not go on. So then I went on the internet and I researched it, and apparently this is a common problem for these LG TVs, and what you have to do is you have to replace a chip on the main board, or you just replace the main board. They're selling on the internet the main boards for around $200 or so. The chip, there's a fellow out in Canada that sells them, and they're only $17. So I chose to go to the $17 option. And here is the TV itself, and I don't know if the camera can focus in, but it was built in October of 2011, and here we are in March of 2013. I'm sorry, April of 2013. So in a little over 15 months, the TV has died. So I wanted to show you how to replace that chip, and the first order of business is I kind of disassembled already, so for filming purposes I make it a little bit faster. So you got to take out 4 Phillips screws that hold the 2 mounts on. So I've done that already. So there's one mount, there's the second mount. And then around the periphery of the TV there are 18 Phillips screwdrivers. There's an example of the mounting hole right there for one of them. There's a total of 18 in the periphery of it. Then there are 4 in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then there are 2 more over here by the output plugs, the RCA and the VGA. So there's 1, 2 there. There's 1 here that's labeled near USB in. And then there are 4 other ones. There's 1 here, another one here, another one up there, and another one up there. So once you've removed all those screws, then the rear cover comes off, as my wife is doing it right now. So let me give her a hand. So it comes out like that. Okay. And we're going to set it down for a second. And what you will see, and it was really shocking to me because how simple these TVs are now these days, you'll see 2 boards. One of them is the power supply board, and the other one is the main board, and this is the one where the chip apparently goes. They had a batch of chips that apparently are going bad, so hopefully that's going to fix my problem. And unfortunately the chip is on the back side of the board, so we have to remove this board from here, but that's simply done. There are 1, 2, 3 cables that simply you just grab it at the end and it just pulls right off. Then you have 2 flex cables here that goes into these low insertion force. Actually, they're ZIF sockets. They're 0 insertion force, and you put it in there, and there's a little lever right here that you flip up to release it, and backwards to lock it in place. So you take those 2 off, and then you take 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws off, and the board comes right out along with this. This is the push button panel right here. So the board comes out, okay, just like that, and the chip in question is located right here. That's U14, and so that's how you take the TV apart, and you take out the board. So now I'm going to take the board to my work. I'm an electronics engineer, so I have all the required tools and equipment to take out that chip. We're going to solder it back on, and we're going to bring it back and install it, and hopefully the TV will work again. Alright, so here's the main board out of the TV, and I already took the chip off, and I want to show you guys how to do that. I brought it over to my work. I happen to be an electrical engineer, so we have all kinds of nice tools to rework surface mounted technology devices such as this one here. So U14 is located right here, and I'll show you how to take that off. But yesterday I received the replacement chip, which is right there. And the interesting thing is that this chip is a Micronix MX55L4400, which is a 64 megabit flash device. It's on an 8-pin package, and you can buy these chips quite cheaply. I mean, DigiKey has them for $2.11 in one-piece quantities. But I guess the important thing is that the contents, I mean, these chips, if you buy from DigiKey, are blank. So I guess mine has the contents which are important. So what I'm going to do is before I install the replacement chip, I'm going to back up the contents using a little EEPROM programmer, and then in case it goes bad again, I know how to fix it again. So the way that I took out U14 is I used this hot air blower, which is part of the surface mount kit here, and then you just kind of blow the hot air, and then with a pair of tweezers you just lift the chip right up. It's a nice clean solution. So let's go back up the contents of the new EEPROM, and we'll come back over here and solder the new device in. Okay, so about ready to back up the contents of the new device. So here's the little adapter for the EEPROM programmer, and you have to be careful to line up pin 1 of the new device with pin 1 on the adapter here. And then there's a Windows utility here that allows you to read, program, and verify the contents. So the first thing that you do is you select the device, and here it is, MX55L406E. Okay, and the chip, this particular chip device ID is Charlie 2 2017. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read that device. So there's a read ID command, and there it is, Charlie 2 2017. So now we're ready to read the device. So you go device read, and you hit read here, and now it's reading. It's 64 megabits, so it's going to take a little bit of time. And once that's done, I can save that file as a binary format. So next time, if it happens, then I have the contents. Hopefully they came from LG for that device. Okay, we're approaching the halfway mark. Okay, about 3/4 done. And it's done. So now if you look over here, there's all kinds of before it was all FF, now it's there's all kinds of data there. So we have the contents now, and I'm going to file, I'm going to save, and we're going to call it U14 underscore LG underscore good.
oops, I put L24. Should be sorry, U14 instead of, okay, yeah, U14 underscore LG underscore good, and we save it. Alright, we're done. So now let me take that device, we're going to solder back on. Alright, so we're ready to put the chip back on, or to solder the new chip back on. First thing you want to do is you want to take some flux and apply it to the pads there, like that. And then with a pair of tweezers, you want to hold the chip in place, and very important to line up the pin 1s. So the chip usually has a marking on it, usually a circle, and that indicates pin 1, and the board itself usually have either a triangle or a white dot. So you want to line up the dot with the marking on pin 1 on the chip. And then you just start, you take your soldering iron and you take a little bit of solder and you tack down one of the chips just temporarily to hold it there. Then you won't need the tweezers anymore, and you just go one pin at a time, and you just put a little bit of heat and a little bit of solder, and the flux does a pretty good job of sucking the solder, so you shouldn't have any problem with bridging, but you want to make sure that the pins are individually attached and not soldered to each other. And that's all there is to it. Now we're going to take the board, we're going to take some water with a little brush and cleaning this area out real good, and then with some compressed air we're going to blow it out, dry it out. The flux is highly corrosive, so you don't want to leave any flux on the board there. So that's about it. So hopefully this is going to work. We're going to go back to the house and reassemble the TV and test it out. Alright, so I'm back with the board. I've replaced the chip at work, as you saw it. So now we're ready to put it back in, and let me show you how that's done. Okay, so you line up the screws there, and there are 4 of them. And before you touch any part of the TV and handle the board, you should always discharge yourself against a metal surface. That is to prevent any static electricity from damaging the circuit board or any of the electronic circuits on this board. So be forewarned.
How did you do that? How did you ground yourself? How do you ground yourself?
The wife is asking me, how do you ground yourself? You just touch yourself to a metal like a switch plate, and that should do it. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, I'm testing the push buttons that are on the right side of the TV here, and make sure that they're going in correctly. This bracket should go in correctly, I should say. And that looks good. Okay, so now we're ready to connect the cables, and they're keyed, so it's pretty hard to put them in backwards. We'll do the easy ones first. And these zero insertion force ones, you put it in, make sure that the lever is up, you put it in there, and then you flip the lever down like that, and it's locked in place. Likewise for this guy here. Okay, you put it in, make sure that the lever is up, and you flip the lever down. There, snapped. Okay, so the board is back in. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables. I'm going to plug it in, and we're going to test it out before I close up the rear cover. Alright, so we tested the TV while I was on the bench, and the blue light did come on. So now we hung it up and we connected all the cables, so we're going to give it a go. Alright, the DirecTV is on, and the TV just got a blue light. HDMI 1 up on the screen, and there it is. Okay, so that chip really fixed it. So that's it. Job's done.